If you guys have been watching the channel over the past couple of weeks, you would know that we've been diving into some specific story for Modern Warfare 2 regarding the Season 2 raid. Now, as far as this raid went, we got the introduction of Alex, or I guess you could say the return of Alex, as well as Hadir, Khalid al-Assad. But what if I told you that there was something a little bit bigger hidden within the raid? Well, it just so happens that the first time I played through the raid, this is what I found. Jordan?
Is it Perseus logo?
That is the Perseus logo. So if you don't know what that logo is, it's from Black Ops Cold War. It's the logo of Perseus, and it's a pretty big thing for the Call of Duty overall story and what it means for Modern Warfare 2 moving forward. And it just so happened that 2 days before that raid came out, I made a video talking about how Vladimir Makarov could actually be Perseus. Now, I swear to you, I had no idea that Easter egg was going to be in the raid. I don't think anyone did. It was just a really big coincidence. But I'm telling you, that logo being in the raid means a lot for what the story has to offer in Modern Warfare moving forward. And that is what this video is about. So that is what we're going to dive into. But first, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. If you're watching these videos, you probably play Call of Duty or maybe other first-person shooters, and anything that gives you an advantage over other players is always a good thing. That is why today's video is sponsored by VGF Gamers. This company can help you turn your controller from this into this with just a couple of different components. The first thing that we have is the Pro Flex controller skin. It is made out of silicone, which means it makes things like sweat not affect your grip. Therefore, you'll be more stable while playing. Another awesome thing about the Pro Flex controller skin is on the back of it, it adds a couple of grips, which makes it even easier to grab and keep a hold of for those long play sessions. On the other hand, you have the Pro Touch thumbsticks for more precise end control while gaming. If this is specifically helpful for players who play FPSs just like Call of Duty and will enhance your aim just that much more. Now, one thing that's awesome about the Pro Flex skin is it's super easy to set up and use. You just wrap it around your controller and just like that, your grip is going to be that much better. On top of that, it is amazing material quality, which means it's not going to rip, scuff, or anything like that. But on top of that, there's a ton of different designs and colors, which you can make your controller look the exact way you want to. And on top of that, have the upper hand on your opponents as well. So if you want to check out VGF Gamers, the link is the first thing down in the description. And on top of that, they're doing a special deal. If you use the code Inkslasher20, you can actually save yourself 20% on your order, which is an absolutely huge deal. So check them out, first link down below, and bring your gameplay to that next level. So to understand what Perseus means within Modern Warfare 2, we first have to take a look at exactly what's going on with all of the bad guys within the story of the Modern Warfare universe. The first one, the most obvious one that we have, is Al-Qatala. The first thing that you need to understand is essentially all of the bad guys aren't really working together. They're kind of fighting each other, and you'll see what I mean by that. So as far as Al-Qatala goes, they have essentially invaded the region of Al Mazrah. They have taken over and are currently being fought by various different forces, including Task Force 141. The thing that we learned with the Season 2 raid is that they are currently being led by Farah Karim's brother, Hadir, who we also believe is Khalid al-Assad at the moment.
Their commander. He spared me.
Why?
He had a message. Wanted me to deliver it personally. To you.
To me? Who is this commander?
Farah. You're not gonna like this.
Alex. Who?
Your brother. Hadir.
Hadir is in jail.
Not anymore. He wants a truce.
So that's Al-Qatala, currently prominently stationed within Al Mazrah. The second group that we have is the one that we grew to be more common within the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, which is the Coney Ultra-Nationalists. As we found out, the Ultra-Nationalists were the ones that ended up taking the ballistic missiles from Shadow Company, and we see throughout the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. After the campaign, we find out that they have invaded Ashika Island and are currently in a little bit of a war with Shadow Company on that island as well. Now, through the campaign, it seems as though Al-Qatala and the Coney Ultra-Nationalists were working together. Once the Ultra-Nationalists stole the ballistic missiles, they gave them to Al-Qatala, both of which were being given weapons by the Mexican cartel, aka the Los Alamos. Now, at the time of the campaign, we didn't know who was running the Coney Ultra-Nationalists, but that was until the end of the game where we get some intel from Kate Laswell.
Who is he?
Makarov.
Now, as we know, throughout the campaign, it appears as though Al-Qatala was working with the Ultranationalists, but that was until the death of General Hassan. As it seems, once Hadir had more command over Al-Qatala, we know he has a big hatred for Russians as well as the West, and once he started to take over, this is what we found out at the end of the raid.
Your brother, Hadir.
Hadir is in jail.
Not anymore. He wants a truce. Wants to work with you. Work with us.
To do what?
To kill Russians with their own weapons.
The warhead.
That's Hadir.
He wants us to join him or turn back. That's the message.
So we now have the Konya Ultranationalists who are fighting against Task Force 141 and the West. We have Al-Qatala, who is fighting against the West and Russia and the Ultranationalists. And then finally, we have Shadow Company. As we found out with Shadow Company, once they turn on Task Force 141, we currently don't know who is leading them. We don't know whether Philip Graves actually survived the tank attack at the end and is leading Shadow Company, or whether they're being led by General Shepard. But as far as Shadow Company goes, they are fighting the Konya Ultranationalists, Al-Qatala, and now Task Force 141 as well. In other words, everyone is fighting everyone. And this is where Vladimir Makarov comes in, because I just want to take a look back to the original Modern Warfare 3 and hear what he has to say about war.
All warfare is based on deception. For years, the West's hypocrisy has made the world a battlefield. Corrupt talk, while our brothers and sons spill their own blood. Remember, silver. But deceit cuts both ways.
Russian authorities claim the attack was orchestrated by an American CIA operative named Joseph Allen.
The bigger the lie, the more likely people will believe it. And when a nation cries for vengeance, the lie spreads like a wildfire.
I'm looking at fighter jets over I-95.
The fire builds, devouring everything in its path.
This is a deliberate act of war against the United States.
Our enemies believe that they alone dictate the course of history. That all it takes is the will of a single man.
So essentially what Makarov is saying there is war is based off of deception. And if we go back to the original Modern Warfare 3 and we follow the motifs of that, essentially what Makarov was trying to do was start World War 3 by using chaos. And his famous quote of "Revenge is like a ghost. It takes over every man it touches. Its thirst cannot be quenched until the last man standing has fallen." He uses this motif but on a very large scale, making countries thrive for revenge. So plan based in revenge and deception. It's exactly what he did with the original No Russian mission, making a terror attack seem like Americans did it, and therefore the world turns on themselves. At the very end of the current Modern Warfare 2, we see something very similar. Again, the line No Russian being used, and once again focused on an airplane. Okay, so we're getting at a lot of work for a small drink of water here. So where does Perseus come in? So we find the Perseus flag within the bunker in Adamgrad. Now, as far as this goes, this is probably telling us is this bunker belonged to Perseus. It is from the Cold War. But what if it means more than that? As we just talked about, Makarov's plan is based in complete deception. Well, what do we know about Perseus? So this is where things get interesting. This is the real story of Perseus. Essentially, what happened is it is the code name of a hypothetical Soviet spy, an atomic spy, allegedly who breached the United States national security, infiltrating the Los Alamos, does that name sound familiar, National Laboratory, during the Manhattan Project. In other words, spying on America's nuclear weapons, planting their own, basically, CIA agent undercover and returning information to Russia. So in other words, an undercover agent. If we go back to the original No Russian mission, something very similar happens where an undercover agent gets placed with Makarov. Makarov finds it out, kills him, and blames it on the United States. And then we have the end of Modern Warfare 2 that happened this year. We have another plane attack, and we don't know what is going on here, but I'm willing to bet with the Perseus logo being front and center, the deception is coming back. Makarov is trying to create World War III, and he's going to do so with an undercover agent. And What do we know about undercover agents? Well, there's none more renowned than Perseus himself. And yet, as we found out, Makarov has not even been introduced yet, but already he has Shadow Company fighting against Task Force 141, fighting against Alcatala, fighting against the Coney Ultranationalists. He has already created the chaos that he wants, and the deception hasn't even happened yet. So yes, I think we're going to see more of Perseus, and yes, we're definitely going to see more of Makarov, and I can't wait to see where this is going. But that is what we have for now. I'm curious what you guys think about it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. As we get more information on Perseus, on Makarov, on the rest of the story, I will keep you guys updated. But for now, that's all we have. So make sure you hit that like button. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Subscribe and turn notifications on if you want to stay up to date. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars.